Have I been wrong all my life? Does BMW actually make better performance cars than Porsche? Well, I'm going to find out by comparing the new M4 CS in a series of comparison tests against the new 911 GT3. I'm out and you're watching Car Wow. Is my whole world order about to be turned upside down? In this video, I'll compare these cars' designs. I'll test their performance claims. I'll see how practical or impractical they really are and decide which one is best. And I might break the habit of a lifetime. Yes. Wow. Let's start off by comparing how these cars look. So, the 911 and GT3, to most people it just looks like a normal 911. But those who know because you got these vents here, these little nostrils, and you've got the front splitter there with GT3 on it. There's some visual upgrades with this bit. And this one has carbon fiber. That's an optional extra, and more on that later. It's a good look car. Now, this looks mean though, doesn't it? Here, the BMW aggressive grille really works. You got like red accents on it. And importantly for this CS, you get carbon fiber here. It's just much more aggressive than the standard M4. These winglets here in this front splitter. Be careful going over speed humps cause that could be very costly. Big thing for me though is the bonnet. Look at it. I love it with this exposed carbon fiber. This car's so aggressive. And another thing I like about it for this CS, you get yellow daytime running lights. Now, if you don't like those, you can deselect them. From the front, then this looks like the more powerful and aggressive car. Things are different at the back, though. You see, while the BMW does have some sporty add-ons like this carbon fiber boot lip spoiler and quite a nice carbon fiber rear diffuser, plus quad exhaust, it just can't compete with this proper wing. This provides meaningful downforce. Also, while the diffuser on this Porsche isn't carbon fiber, there's just something more real about it. You know, that's doing more diffusing than that one. Also really like the rear end of this. It just works with the central exhaust. This is only 2 and you know that this has got a natural aspirated engine so it's going to sound amazing. They've also redesigned this part compared to the 992.1. Really like it. And this little vent here. This one makes one statement from the rear. And that's probably what you're going to see of these cars when you're driving on the road. The rear of them as they go past you. The M4 CS has some upgraded alloy wheels. So they're forged aluminium and they're 20s at the back and 19s at the front. As with the standard car, you have a carbon fiber roof. But unlike the Santa car, you have carbon fiber mirror caps. Still fistable though in true M tradition. Don't like this tacky little badge there. It's supposed to be an air vent. It's not an air vent. It's fake. Looks like an M4 with some extra bits added on. You could probably do this yourself, you know, with some aftermarket parts. And that happened to the Porsche. You see, because you can't make this shape yourself, can you? It has to be done from factory. This looks like a racing car. It really does. Alloy wheels. So, these are 20s at the front and 21s at the rear. This has the upgraded magnesium alloy wheels. They're rather expensive. We'll come to that as well later on. And it's got some other bits like the carbon fiber mirror caps. They're not standard on this car. Obviously, Porsche will take you for every penny you have. I like the look of these door handles, but they're just not so nice to use as the ones on the BMW from the side. It's a non-contest. This just looks beautiful. The CS version of the M4 has the same 3L twin-turbo straight 6 as the normal M4, but it's got 20 more horsepower. So, 550 in total. It has the same 650 Nm of torque. It drives all 4 wheels for an 8-speed automatic gearbox. And this big bonnet, which is made out of carbon fiber, is really handy at blocking the wind from me, and I'll keep myself warm on the engine. Can't do any of that with a Porsche because you can't really get to the engine unless you get it on a lift. That has a 4L naturally aspirated flat 6 with 510 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. Has a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, which drives the rear wheels only. That weighs 1,480 kilograms. This weighs 1,760 kilograms. So 280 kilograms heavier. So what's that going to do to the performance? N60 is supposed to take 3.4 seconds. Left foot brake floor the throttle. Noise control is ready. Music that just hooked up. That feels good. 3.1 seconds. What's the quarter mile? What's it going to be? Flying. 11.1. Come on.
That's for
wow.
sure.
That is so fast.
quarter mile,
So fast. The
beat
Porsche
by
could be at a
100
disadvantage here because it's only two-wheel drive.
close.
But remember, the entire weight of its
that this is
4L
rear-wheel
flat
drive,
6
right?
is pushing down directly on
So
the back
BMW is the
wheels.
quickest by the
So it
narrowest
should
of
still have
margins,
excellent
but
traction off the
doesn't
line,
sound the
especially
best.
not
Go
a
then.
60. 3.4 seconds. Same as the BMW. But what's the reality? Music, that was a good one. Yes, yes, come on.
pretty
Can you
nice,
beat the
pretty nice. Cut
BMW?
it, cut it.
It beat
Let's
it
have a
to
listen to a
60,
naturally
that's
aspirated
for
flat
sure.
six.
But quarter mile beat by 100th of a second by the BMW.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how close is that? But it's insane that
Okay,
this
we've
is
got a soft
rear-wheel
limiter, but it
drive,
sounds
right?
good.
And it manages to do that. So, the BMW is the quickest by the narrowest of margins. But does it sound the best?
Right.
Go on then.
Station revving,
It's pretty
no
nice.
question, that sounds
Pretty
the best.
nice.
Now
Cut
let's
it. Cut
hear
it.
them when
Let's
they're
have a
driving.
listen to a naturally aspirated flat 6. Oh, yeah. Okay, we got a soft limiter, but it sounds good. Did the special stop? Right. Station revving. No question. That sounds the best. Now, let's hear them when they're driving. Music, you really feel like you're sitting in a sports car with the GT3 because it is a sports car. You sit dead low, especially in these upgraded chrome fiber bucket seats which now fold as well. Oh, they've also got this feature. Look, you can remove the headrest. How can I do it? How do you do it? There we go. See, remove it. So, if you're wearing a helmet, you're not having your head pushed forward. You can tell that this car is designed for, can't you?
Oh, they've also got this feature.
Can I put this back on? There we go. Yeah, it's a really nice interior. Feels solid, well built, and the infotainment system, it's very easy to use, and you got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto.
You can tell
Digital dials, they cause a bit of controversy, but I actually really like them.
It's a really nice interior.
And I like the
Feels
way
solid,
you can change from a
well-built,
normal
and
rev
the
counter to
infotainment
this
system,
more
it's
sporty
very
one
easy
with
to
a red
use,
line at the
and you've got wireless
top.
CarPlay and Android
I
Auto.
quite like that.
Digital dials,
I like the
they cause a
fact
bit
that
of
they've
controversy,
kept the
but I
little
actually really
paddle
like them,
switch
and I
to
like the way
light
you
start
can
the
change
car
from a
rather than
normal
on the
rev counter
standard
to this more
911s
sporty
where
one
it's like
with the
a
red
push
line at
button.
the top. I quite like
But
that.
there
I
are
like
some
the fact
buttons
they've
that
kept
had
the
to
little
fit
paddle
because of the
switch
new
to, like,
safety
start the car
rules,
rather than
which
on the
means that
standard
you have to
911s
have
with
ADAS
a
systems
push
on.
button. But there are
So,
some buttons that
lane
have to fit
keeping
because of
assistant
the
speed
new
limit
safety rules, which
warning,
means that
but
you
you
have
can
to have
press
ADAS
that
systems on,
button,
so lane
then
keeping
quickly
assist
toggle
and
them off.
speed limit warning, but
I
you
also
can press
like the
that
fact
button
that
and then
Porsche
quickly
has kept
toggle
the
them
physical
off.
buttons
I also
for
like
the
the fact
climate
that Porsche's
control,
kept the
so you
60
can
buttons
set
for
your
the climate
temperature
control, so
really
you can
nice
set your
and
temperature
easily.
really nice and easily.
And this car is lovely inside, but it's got so many options fitted to it. I'm going to come through the spec list in a bit, and it will blow your mind and your wallet.
As with the exterior,
As with the exterior, the interior of the M4 just feels a little bit more like a normal car than the Porsche.
Standard fit,
You still sit very low in the standard fit. You don't have to pay extra for them. Carbon fiber buckets. I think for a long journey, these are more comfortable than the buckets in the Porsche, and they still hold you very well. It's just that this kind of like hard bit in the middle. For some people with chunky thighs, it can be a bit uncomfortable. I find them absolutely fine, though. Other upgrades which help lift it over the standard M4 include, look, we've got CS logo there. You got carbon fiber little tray, carbon fiber all the way around here. That's really nice. Carbon fiber on here, carbon fiber gear shift paddles. And on the steering wheel, you got Alcantara on the steering wheel as well. It's really nice, and I like all like the trick or stitching as well that you get on this car. And oh yeah, the Porsche has a red seat belt which an optional extra. But this has trickle on the seat belt as standard. It's really nice. Infotainment system isn't as good though. It's a bit confusing this BMW one. And you have to operate as with the standard car. The climate control through it and the digital dials. While they're pretty clear and give you all the information you need, they just don't look as in the Porsche. Now, it's all well and good talking about the upgrades over the normal M4 and even the normal 4 Series, but you got to put how much that costs into perspective. So, this is the starting price for a normal BMW 4 Series. And this is how much you can save on one through CarWow. And this is the starting price for a normal BMW M4, just the normal M4 competition. And this is how much you can save on average on one through CarWow. So, if you're thinking about buying a car, you need to head to CarWow. You can do that by following the link in the description or clicking on the pop-out button in the top right-hand corner of the screen to see the latest deals. There's also a QR code you can scan on screen now.
An entry-level Porsche
However,
911 Carrera
this
starts
M4
from
CS
this
costs this much.
The GT3
Yeah, actually the
starts
car
from
we've got here is actually
So the
this
price
much
walk
because
is
it's
actually
got
less
some
than going
options
from a
fitted
base
to it, but there's
Porsche
only
all the way
two.
up to the CS.
The first
However,
is this
Porsche won't
lovely
let you stop
Riviera
walking,
blue
you
paint
see,
job.
because you're gonna have
Can
to
you
fit
guess
some
how much
options
that
to your
is?
GT3.
It's
No
this
one
much,
buys a
and
base
then it
spec
even finished the
GT3.
bonnet.
And
Then
I'm
there's
gonna
the
take you through
carbon
options on this
ceramic
car,
brake
and we'll
upgrade
see
which
where we
costs this
end up,
much.
because it's
I think
quite
that's a lot.
frightening.
Wait till we
The
get
optional
onto the
bicep
Porsche.
pack includes
An
carbon
entry-level
wheel plates,
Porsche
mirror
911
caps,
Carrera
rubber
starts
trim,
from
and
this
painted
much.
carbon roof with
The
carbon anti-roll
GT3
bars,
starts
carbon
from this
roll
much,
cage, and
so the price
carbon
walk is
interior trim.
actually less
Alongside
than going
interior
from a
race
base
text
4
trim
Series
and
all the
various
way up
bicep
to the
badges.
CS.
The extended leather and
However,
race text
Porsche
trim
won't
with
let
race
you
stitching
stop
is
walking,
also
you
optional.
see,
Along
because
with
you're
folding
going to
carbon
have to
sport
fit some
seats,
options
red
to your
seat belts,
GT3.
red trim on the stopwatch
No
and
one
rev
just
counter,
buys a base
and
spec
Bose
GT3.
stereo.
And I'm
Exterior
going to
options
take you
include
through the
front
options
PPF,
on this car
tinted
and you'll
matrix
see where
LED
we end up
headlights,
because it's
Vice
quite
courtesy
frightening.
lights, and
The
all
optional
important front axle
VISAC
lift.
pack
For the most
includes carbon
expensive
wing end
individual
plates,
options are
mirror
these carbon
caps,
ceramic
bumper
brakes
trims, and a
and
painted carbon
gorgeous
roof with carbon
magnesium
anti-roll
wheels.
bars.
In total, the options
A
on this
carbon
car
roll
come
cage and
to
carbon interior trim alongside interior Resex trim and various Vice AC badges. The extended leather and racedex trim with red stitching is also optional along with folding carbon sport seats, red seat belts, red trim on the stopwatch and red counter, and Bose stereo. Exterior options include front PPF, tinted matrix LED headlights, Vice AC courtesy lights, and the all-important front axle lift. But the most expensive individual options are these carbon ceramic brakes and gorgeous magnesium wheels. In total, the options on this car come to £60,450. Do you know what really blows my mind is that you can spend over 60 grand on options, and you still have plasticky sun visors. I think the person who actually optioned this car forgot to select the race decks for those. It's only 355 quid. So, if you're spending all that money, you may as well do that as well. But over that amount of cash on options is insane. You could have a whole M4 for a lot less than that. I found this used BMW M4 on CarWow. So, it's 3 years old. It's done just over 30,000 miles and it's available for under £50,000. That's a bargain. Thing is though, when you're buying a used car, you do have to be careful. You need to do a history check to make sure it hasn't got a hidden pass. I've run one on that particular BMW using Car Vertical, and it's come back completely clean. No issues for mileage, theft, outstanding finance, or damage. So, I'm happy. I'll tell you what I'm also happy about. These new carbon fiber buckets fold forward. Now, there's no rear seats in this, but you can get rear seats in the touring version. It does make it easier to load, though, because this cage does cause a problem. But if these seats didn't move, look, you could only squeeze stuff through there. With this one, you can squeeze stuff through this larger gap. That is handy. I also like the fact that you can get them with ISWA anchor points. So, you can put a child seat here in the front. Can't do that in the bucket seats in the previous generation GT3. And these side bolsters just seem a little bit easier to climb over to get in. That's good. I actually find the side bolsters in the BMW a little bit harder to get over than in the Porsche. Not much in it, though. I tell you what is handy about the BMW is this having some rear seats. Yeah. And even if you have the touring with the Porsche, the back seats are nowhere near as good as this. So, I've got decent amount of knee room. Headroom's okay for me. But let's try someone taller. Nicholas. Now, that seat's probably going to go a bit too far back. It's alright, isn't it? Headroom's tight. Headroom's tight. Headroom's very tight, but leg room's good. Okay. That's way better than in a 911, though. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, we're happy about that. We're going to do something else you're not going to like in a minute. Right, Nicholas, you know what to do. I'm going to show you how big and practical this boot is. It is quite large for a sporty coupe. This is not going to be pretty. I tell you what's also not pretty. You see, I found a used BMW M4, which when I ran a car vertical history check on it, came back with this dodgy mileage and crash damage. So, make sure you do a car vertical history check on a car because then you can use that information to decide what to do next. Should you walk away from a car like that? Or maybe just use it as a negotiating tool to get the price down. Anyway, if you're going to get a used car, do a car vertical check. There's a link in the description of this video and the pinned comment, and use the code CARWOW for 20% off. Anyway, Nick, this is the bit you're going to enjoy the most. I'm going to top to tail. See if we can fit two grown men in the back of this. I told you we're going to enjoy this. Goodness, this is going to be worse than that car vertical history check. Oh, look, there's a recess for my feet. Now, Miguel, you're going to have to shut the boot. But look at this though. This is going to happen. Come on, don't fart, Nick, go. I think I've got some front end damage now. How do we get out? Actually, do you know what? This is roomier than I thought. Oh, we can release the seats as well. Look, there you go. That way. Don't kick me in the face. I know you want to. Oh, I've got a 12 VT socket here as well. Look, it's a 12 VT socket. There we go. My problem is getting my legs out. Can you get out? Hope I don't do my neck in. Did my neck in last week doing this kind of thing. Anyway, now we're not going to contort ourselves into the very back part of the 911 to show that you can use that space, cause we'll probably get stuck behind that roll cage. But here in the front, you have 135L of stowed space, and it is quite useful. Not as useful as the 440L of boot space in that BMW, but yeah, I can sit in this quite comfortably. Nick, can you actually sit in there as well? You're longer of leg. If you can, that's pretty impressive. Do you know what? We should get some suitcases to demonstrate things with rather than people. Yeah, he's happy. I'm happy. It's just nonsense. Let's take a break from the nonsense to talk about these guys' brakes. The optional carbon ceramics. So on the BMW, we've got 400mm discs at the front gripped by 6 piston calipers and 380mm at the back gripped by single piston caliper. Here on the Porsche, we have 410mm at the front gripped by 6 piston calipers and 390 at the back gripped by more piston calipers. So Porsche is a little bit better. We've also got different tires on the cars. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, better when hot, better when cold. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a cold brake test, and then we're going to do a hot brake test and see how the cars perform in those two different scenarios. Will there be any difference? Let's find out. Cold tires, cold brakes. What we going to do? 100 miles per hour. Cold tires and brakes, each seem to take quite a distance. Let's have a look. 88m to stop from 100 miles per hour.
There we go.
We're going to see what the Porsche does. Applause, it did better. The BMW 87 meters, 1m better. Is it going to do better once I've warmed it all up?
Is that better?
We're going to find out. But first, I need to get some serious heat into the BMW's tires.
Hot brakes, hot tires.
Music, there we go. 88m to beat. Is that any better? Bang on the same 88 meters. I warmed the heck out the tires. I warmed the heck out the brakes. And it's exactly the same. Now, let's warm up the tires on the 911. So, it's got this feature where you can clutch kick it. So you're pulling both pedals. Floor it. There we go. Should be ready to razz it. It's definitely a little bit more edgy than the BMW. Is that better? I don't know if it is. Yes. Wow. Wow. Hot brakes, hot tires, 80 mpers. I've taken 7 meters out of it by having everything warmed up. It's mad how it didn't affect the BMW, but it affected this. Maybe that's just the nature of the brakes, and in particular the tires on the BMW. These Cup 2s on this. You got to get them warm for them to do their job, and then they definitely do their job. It's easy to get your tires into their ideal temperature range on a track, but it's much harder to do on the road. And this could be one reason why the BMW with its Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's might actually be a better all-rounder. But let's find out when you're on it. This thing feels properly fast. The engine lights are red for a turbo and it sounds good. Though I know a lot of the sound I'm hearing on the inside, it's kind of pumped through the speakers. The car will rotate on you a bit. So, it's quite mobile and it's fun and engaging, and it's nothing but predictable and smooth, like you know what it's going to do, and then you can apply the throttle to sit the back down and stop it rotating and just control it or make it rotate even more. The halfway house for the traction, the MDM mode is really well balanced. It gives you some fun and some slip without hanging you out to dry.
Yeah, I know it's not a
It is fun and it's great. You know, you got a car that you can use with your family. I know it's a coupe, so it's not the most practical, but still. Back seats and boot does the job. And then it's a proper like nutty sports coupe when you want it to be. It does feel like a bit of a big bruiser, though, this thing. It's not like a scalpel, but it's certainly a lot of fun. And you can cover ground extremely quickly. And with the four-wheel drive, you can enjoy the performance all year. The brakes feel good. Gear shifts. Yeah, I know it's not a deal clutcher, but they're fast. And if you get a bit carried away in a corner, it'll either just push. On a bit, or if you rotate too quick, it'll just start to come around on you. It's all very smooth and predictable. It's so nice. Do you know what? Drive this in isolation, you're like, yeah, what a car. What an absolute legend of a car. And just that step up over the standard M4 without any compromise in terms of like the comfort levels and just everyday usability. BMW's M division do this when they release a special editions like the CS. They're always just they have that special source that seem to be more than the sum of their parts. I mean, I love it. I do. But even though you could actually use this car every day, the M4 CS hasn't forgotten how to be a total hooligan. The two-wheel drive mode is pretty cool as well because you can just give it a lot of slidey slide. Hello. So easy. But how will the Porsche compare with its hardcore motorsport-derived chassis setup? In some ways, it's wrong to compare the GT3 to the BMW. You should just have like a normal Porsche like the GTS. While the BMW is perfectly livable every day and throughout the winter, you wouldn't want to with this. It's a little bit noisy. It's incompromised. The tires are no good when it's wet and cold. When the conditions are right, oh my goodness, it's like driving a racing car. It really is. The steering is so sharp, the chassis so stiff, the engine manic. I mean, in terms of speed, outright performance, they just bang on each other really. But this way, it's just so flat around the bends and just digs in. It's less likely to let go as well than the BMW, which kind of moves around a bit more. This is just so planted. And the drive that you get from that rear axle with the weight over the back wheels, it's just insane. Gear shift as well. You can tell this is a dual cluster. It's just like bang, bang, bang. So fast on the gear shifts. It's an absolute weapon. Seats are fantastic as well, just hold you firmly in place. I mean, when the weather's good and the roads are good, this is the car you're going to choose all day long. You do have to watch gear in because you haven't got the torque to pull you out if you're in the wrong gear like you can the BMW, but get it right. This engine is an absolute peach. And the noise, I mean, the BMW just can't come close. This is pure motorsport, this sound. And you can really feel it dancing underneath you when you do chuck it about. What an absolute weapon this is. All the way to 9. Yes, please. And then you have to relax and just chill for a bit. I go, oh, do you know what? What an amazing car, but it's only amazing on the right kind of journeys. Other times, it's going to be a bit of a pain. This is the car I want, but it's not necessarily the car I or you should have. So then, which car is best? Well, technically, it's the Porsche GT3. However, you can only really enjoy it if the conditions and the situation is right. Whereas the BMW you can enjoy more of the time and all year round. So my final verdict is this. If you're having it as a second car, choose the Porsche. If you're having it as your only car, choose the BMW. I hope that makes sense.